What is up, internet world, and welcome back to the channel. Today I bring you the 2022 Porsche Cayenne Turbo GT. Porsche Cayenne GT Turbo with 631 horsepower and 626 pound-feet of torque. This thing does 0 to 60 in 3 seconds, and some have got it to the 2s. Does a quarter mile in 11 seconds. But the coolest part about this thing, it's got performance start and you can build boost up. Just watch me build this boost up. Does the Nurburgring in 7 minutes, 38.9 seconds. And if you don't know how fast that is, it's the fastest SUV on the planet. But they've made this thing hook like a 911. So they've set the camber 1 degree inward from the turbo. It actually sits 17 millimeters lower than the turbo. This thing is so fun. Oh, they've done an awesome job to tune the rear wheel steering to just... Damn, Porsche, you're just so good. Now, it's doing a major disservice to this car to just launch it, because that's not what it's built for. It's totally built for corners, but launching is just so much fun. And when people say that this thing is relatively stiff, I have no idea what they're talking about. Even with these 22s, it's still so comfortable. I don't know what else to say. They've just mastered the art of comfort and cornering in one, which was just never the case before. You'd always have to slam your car, get suspension that was rough as hell, everybody's bouncing in the car, feels like concrete, but no more. This thing is expensive. So we're going to start this video with some trivia. You see, we live in a world of 1,000 choices when it comes to Porsche. And I'd like you guys to guess what color this is. Is this oak green, or is it aventurine green, or is it simply just a color from a sample that somebody handed to a guy? I don't know, but what you need to know is that this thing has a starting price of $200,000 Canadian, and a spec, this is $228,700. That is a lot of money. So I'm here to convince you today that this is worth that much money. Consider this, the Urus costs about 50 grand more than this. The Audi RSQ8 costs 50 grand less than this. Choices, man, choices. That's what the world is. The world's about choices. And you got all the choice in the world when you buy a Porsche. Now, I was really impressed with the RSQ8, but there's a few things I didn't like about it. The first thing is if I'm not launching it and I simply just get on the throttle instantly and I want to move, there's a delay. That was my biggest complaint about it. The car looks sweet. It looks sweet. It's so good looking. And that's the same with this. This is very Cayenne-ish, but obviously the tidbits make a bit of a difference. But the whole key is, how does it accelerate when you pin it off the line without launch control? So let me show you. Let's just show you how this thing works simply by just hitting the gas. Go. That's a delay. That's a delay. Look outside. Just on the brakes, foot to the ground, car next to me. 1, 2, 3, on. To 30, it feels like a major delay. And that's how the RSQ8 felt. It felt like a delay. Unless, of course, you're in like the perfect mode. And right now I'm in normal, or what Porsche likes to call 0 or O, not N. Beats me. But that was the biggest problem I had with the RSQ8, and that's the same with this, and that is because this has the same similar V8 twin turbo 4-liter from Volkswagen. But when this car comes alive, the straightaways are impressive, but it's the cornering, and that's what makes this thing a GT. Yeah, that titanium exhaust as well sounds mean. So sick, so aggressive. So on the side of this thing, it looks vastly different than the e-hybrid in red we have. Let's start off with the wheels. These things are bronze and they are 22s, and they are stuck, holding it all together with some P0 high-performance Corsa tires that are super ultra grippy. The brakes are a whole different game. They are 17.3 inches large, and that is bigger than most vehicles' rim size. And in the back, you got 16.1 in terms of brakes, and of course, you have 305s wide and super sticky. The back of the Turbo GT. Now check out these little winglets. How cute are they? Look really funny when the trunk goes up because they are absolutely fixed. They're carbon fiber, so is the roof all the way back, so it blends all the way together. Do you guys like the fact that this thing has 2 spoilers, and this one is active and this one is fixed? That's up to you. But the coloring on the letter should be a little bit more polished in my opinion. But it doesn't matter because look at the bottom. Look at this valence, it's massive in carbon fiber. And this exhaust, well, take a listen, compare it against the hybrid and the GTS. So here's something odd. Where are you going to put the tow hitch? Because the exhausts are right there. And here's something a little bit more odd. This thing has lowering air suspension in the back so I can drop. But what's the point if I can't put a tow hitch? Oh wow. This is Suede Central. There's Suede on the roof, or Alcantara, or Race Tex, all kinds of different names, but it's essentially soft and smooth and furry. Now they have the gold stripe all the way through, which is nice because it matches the wheels. There's a lot of yellow touches as well on the inside, on the front of the cabin, but it's basically a lot of Alcantara. And this is a 4-passenger version, so there's only 1 seat here and 1 seat there. There's no seat belt in the center. This is for a whole bunch of stuff. This should really be wireless charging Porsche, but we'll talk about that later. Nice fancy Napa leather all the way through. Now, the one thing I will say about this, and as well as the other one, is that having no sunroof and the carbon is cool because it takes the weight away, but it feels a little bit claustrophobic when it's all black everywhere, even though I have a whole bunch of air options to keep me breathing. And check out the seat belts. They are like a mauve maybe, or taupe. I'm so bad with colors. Comment below. Front seat of the Cayenne Turbo GT. Feels similar. You have this fancy grab handles. And the answer is this, is they have 2 of them on either side because this car is available in right and left-hand drive. Check out these seats. How awesome is this? Turbo GT all the way through on all 4 seats, 2 in the front and 2 in the back. Suede as usual everywhere on the headliner continuing, and on the armrest, and on the center console, and of course the steering wheel with the center yellow pinstripe there. All yellow gauges, yellow everything, except one unique feature. The sport response button is red. First time for that. Yes, this does have fancy ambient lighting, but in case you didn't know, this is a Turbo GT. It's littered everywhere. They let you know on all 4 seats, as I mentioned. They even have it on the tack, and of course, all the sills. But the most important one is this one right here, so that everybody in the car can see you're driving a Turbo GT. One thing I would change and have Porsche spend the money on is replacing these 2 little high gloss black panels. You see, I can see that this thing doesn't have sport, individual, or even automatic parking, but the fact that this doesn't have ventilated seats for this kind of money, I can see that I have it, but I cannot press it. Now up to the screen, this is not the newest version that Porsche has, but it's still relatively new. I like the fact that Apple CarPlay does run across the whole width of the actual display, and you can click the different buttons like vehicle and then go through different drive mode, chassis height, Put on the exhaust, spoiler extended, and then you have other stuff like assist that allows you to maneuver assist, rear cross traffic alert, and of course an egress warner that lets you know. Now my heated seats are on, I will hit this button and shut it off. But comfort, when you click it, you can have your ambient lighting, which is an option, by the way. You can choose different colors and of course different percentages of what that covers. You can also set your air suspension for higher and lower, all done through the screen. But the most important though, as always, is Apple CarPlay. So the question becomes, who's buying this? And I will say that somebody that wants to look a little bit more sleeperish or more stealth will buy this over a Urus, guaranteed. But they'll even buy this over an Audi RSQ8. And possibly because they want that extra bit of clout and they want that extra bit of service. Because as good as Audi is, they still sell regular cars. And you don't really want to buy the most expensive regular car that a brand makes. You kind of want to buy the most expensive car that Porsche makes. And I wonder if it's like you go to a supermarket or a restaurant and you look and you think, there's good, better, and best. Am I buying best in the Urus because it is 50 grand more? Am I buying good in the RSQ8? Or am I buying better in the Porsche Cayenne Turbo GT? Tough choices when you got money. Thanks for watching.